Hoy estamos aquí un grupo de pastores para entregar el premio de Texas del asiento del inodoro, el premio de la vergüenza, a todo aquel representante en este estado que vote no en contra del SB 6. Hoy estamos aquí para proteger las mujeres y los niños en los baños públicos por medio del SB 6. Y hacemos un llamado al líder de la Cámara de Representantes, Joe Strauss, y a todos que no detengan más esta propuesta de ley y que pueda pasar como el pueblo y la gente y los ciudadanos de Texas están pidiendo que pase.
I am Pastor F.N. Williams. I am 88 years old, have pastored almost 60 years. I have fought for civil rights and equal justice for many years. I never thought in my lifetime that I would have to stand up, speak out, and even become the plaintiff in a lawsuit against our mayor to protect women and girls when they are using their restroom, locker rooms, or shower. It seems as if common decency and common sense has been replaced by nonsense. Who would have thought that at the highest level of our government, we'd have to debate whether biological males should be allowed into women's restrooms, locker rooms, and showers? That's why we are speaking out in favor of Senate Bill 6 for Texas. It's time for all of Texas to protect women and children in their most private settings.
When the former mayor of Houston and some of our city council members attempted to force an ordinance on our city that would allow biological males to legally go into women's restrooms, locker rooms, and showers, pastors all over Houston stood up and said no. We asked the mayor to allow the people to vote, and she said no. We then gathered over 50,000 signatures to force a vote, and the mayor had the city attorney throw out our referendum. We had no choice but to file a lawsuit against the city defending our right to vote. 2 years and over $650,000 in legal fees, the Texas Supreme Court ordered the mayor and city council to let us vote. Even with massive dollars coming in from outside Texas to spread false information, the citizens of Houston of every race and political persuasion overwhelmingly said at the ballot box, we don't want biological males in women's restrooms, locker rooms, and showers. That's also exactly how the overwhelming majority of the citizens of Texas feel. Houston stood and protected our women and children. SB 6 would assure that Texas citizens will not have to fight city by city, school district by school district, across the state to protect our women and children.
And in the process, the mayor attempted to intimidate and silence our voice, retaliate by subpoenaing the sermons and 16 other categories of 5 Houston pastors who were not even part of the lawsuit, attempt to chill our voice of all the pastors. I'm one of the original boat people who fled the communists of Vietnam, where we have that happen very often. Our sermons were revealed and used to punish pastors. I was shocked to have that happen here in America. To the mayor's subpoena, the 5 of us immediately said, we would love for you to have our sermon, but not under the duress and intimidation of the subpoena. To the mayor and her subpoena, we say, no way. With the nation outcries against her action, she withdrew the subpoena, and we became known as Houston 5. Today, we are here along with groups of pastors who stand with us to say, not only do the citizens of Houston do not want the biological male in women's restroom, locker room, and showers, neither do the citizens of the state of Texas.
Some in the business community including the Texas Association of Business, have said that this bill would hurt the economy of Texas. Their argument was effectively discredited by Senator Kelly Hancock in the Senate committee hearing. You can watch the video of their embarrassing response to the senators' questioning by going to uspastorscouncil.org. You will also find that there's a well-written explanation of Senate Bill 6 by Senator Bob Hall, and also an excellent rebuttal to the false claims of the Texas Association of Business. We say shame on any business in Texas that would place the value of a few dollars over the protection of our women and girls. We ask every Texas business owner who believes in protecting women and girls to sever any ties with the Texas Association of Business as a matter of principle and conviction. We also ask all Texans to boycott the businesses who choose to allow biological males into women's restrooms and changing rooms, as many have done to Target. The significant decline in Target stores' revenue and the sharp drop in their stock says how consumers really feel about this. It is time to let our voices be heard loud and clear. Maybe you're watching this and you would like to relocate your business to a state, or you want to work and live in a state that still believes in common sense and common decency. It's a great place to raise families and has elected officials who will be courageous enough to protect the privacy of women and children. We encourage you to move to Texas. You will love it here. For those elected officials we do have that refuse to protect women and children in their most private settings, we are actively working to encourage voters all across the state to replace them with those who will.
This is not a political issue. It's an issue of privacy, protection, and common decency. We commend Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick for leading the charge on SB 6 and Senator Lois Colhurst for authoring this bill. We commend the 21 Texas senators who voted for SB 6 in the Senate, including the 5 from the greater Houston area: Lois Colhurst, Paul Bettencourt, Joan Huffman, Brandon Creighton, and Larry Taylor. While commending those who have voted to protect women and girls in the privacy of their restrooms, locker room, and showers, we also want to chastise the 10 senators who voted against SB 6, including 3 from the greater Houston area: John Whitmire, Sylvia Garcia, and Boris Miles. As legislators from Houston, you know exactly how the citizens of Houston feel about this because of the way we voted. Even though you are elected to represent us, you misrepresented us by your vote. We will not forget that betrayal in the next election.
This bill should have passed the Texas Senate unanimously with no debate. It is disgusting and offensive to women that 1/3 of the Texas State Senate would vote no on SB 6 in providing protection for women and our daughters in our most private settings.
Just as former Mayor Parker of Houston became known as the bathroom mayor for attempting to force men in women's restrooms upon the citizens of Houston, we have come up with an award that we sincerely hope will become a part of your legacy, and that the people of Texas will remember you by. We are calling it the Texas Toilet Seat Award.
We want to make this presentation today to the 10 senators who would not stand up to protect women and girls. Ladies. We say, shame on you for not voting to protect women and girls in our most private of all settings.
Some will ask, Why would pastors take this approach? Simply because we are fed up. How could 1/3 of the Texas Senate vote no on a common sense bill to protect women and girls when they're using the restroom, locker room, or shower? How could Senators Whitmire, Garcia, and Miles of the Houston area vote against this bill with everything we went through in Houston? We're standing here today to say that we and those we represent are done with elected representatives who can't even get issues of common decency and protection of women right. This is not about your political party. This is Texas. Texans do not want men in women's restrooms, locker rooms, or showers. Last week, we sent all representatives an email from the Pastors Council asking each representative if they would vote for SB 6, yes or no. This simple request would take less than 20 seconds at the most to reply. As of today, less than 1/3 have replied. That is absolutely unacceptable since you were elected to represent us. This bill is now going through the process of the Texas House of Representatives. We're urging Governor Abbott to state his full support. Speaker Joe Straus gave a recent interview to CBS News. SB 6, the bathroom bill, was the first issue dealt with. Mr. Speaker, you said in the interview that you would not block the bill from a floor vote by the full House. And yet we've been told that your staff informed legislators that you would kill the proposed legislation of anyone who signed on to a letter supporting SB 6. Mr. Speaker, did your staff actually do that? You stated very clearly in the interview that you are opposed to SB 6. Since you have stated your opposition to SB 6, we want to make you the first Texas representative to receive the Texas Toilet Seat Award. And so today, we make this presentation to you, Mr. Speaker. We sincerely hope that the voters in your district who do not want biological males in women's and girls' restrooms, locker rooms, and showers will use this award against you in your re-election campaign. To the other 149 Texas representatives, please watch this portion of Speaker Straus's interview in which he mentions you as his special voting bloc.
Well, as I've made pretty clear, I don't think it's a good idea, but we'll have to play it out.
Well, you may have seen that the Lieutenant Governor recently said, I think, quote, I'm quoting here, I think the Speaker is out of touch with the voters on this.
Yes, I heard about that.
How do you react to that?
Well, my voters are not his voters. My voters are the constituents in House District 121. His voters are people around the state of Texas that he has developed as his base. I have other voters, too, that he doesn't have, and those are the other 149 members of the Texas House. And I think they have placed their faith in me several times to guide us through difficult, sticky issues like this. And so the Lieutenant Governor's never served in the House, and it's a whole different atmosphere and a completely different institution by design than the Senate is. So I can't argue with him. We have different audiences and some different views on some of these issues.
To the 149 Texas state representatives who Speaker Straus has said, and I quote, I have other voters too that he doesn't have. And those are the 149 other members of the Texas House who have placed their faith in me several times to guide us through difficult, sticky issues like this, end quote. I ask you, is Speaker Straus speaking for you on SB 6? Or are you going to speak for the citizens of Texas who elected you? They do not want biological males in women and girls' restrooms, locker rooms, and change rooms. That includes Republicans and Democrats. I also ask if you would call this a, quote, difficult, sticky issue, end quote, or if you consider SB 6 a common sense bill that protects the privacy of women and girls. We call on Tan Parker, the caucus chair for the majority party, to lead this effort and ensure the passing of this bill. We ask for the committee chairs, Byron Cook and Todd Hunter, to efficiently move this through their committees for a timely vote. We ask every member of these committees to vote to place this on the House floor. We're urging every state representative, both Republican and Democrat, to immediately and publicly voice their support for this bill and call for a vote on the House floor, and then vote yes on this bill to protect the privacy of women and girls. We also warn you against playing political games and amending this bill until it has no meaning. You will notice that we have a Texas toilet seat award that is blank. That one is reserved for every representative who votes no on protecting women and girls. We sincerely hope that these awards will be used during your next re-election bid to remind voters that you would not take a stand for the privacy and protection of women and girls. We're asking all Texas pastors to call your state representative and to ask your congregation to also call. We also ask you to speak out in your city and to visibly lead in this effort. We're asking every Texan to call their state representative and urge them to vote yes on SB 6. This bill will settle this issue for the entire state of Texas and ensure that you do not have to deal with this in your community as we did in Houston. Let's make sure in Texas that we stand for the protection and privacy of women and girls.